good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you. For the people of Tube, well, today I hope you're feeling grand and all is well in your world. Today, everybody, we are doing a shootout between Goliath and Goliath. Because, you know, I'm David. Weird. That don't make any sense whatsoever. Ignore that. It was weird. Shut up, Dave. So anyway, where are we? Hi. Let's restart. Good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening to you. Today, everybody, we're going to do a little comparison vid between Boss Katana 100 over there, Mark 1, and Boss Katana Artist 100, Mark 2, here. I'm massively curious about this one. And the more I play through this one, the more I'm convinced my original Mark II that I bought at the beginning of this year there was something wrong with it. Because I don't hear much of a difference between these two. But I want to know what the difference is. So today, everybody, what we're going to do, we're going to just do a little shootout. The intro jam, by the way, what you heard is both amps running together. The backing track was quiet, and I do apologise for that. But the backing track was just coming out the artist. The 100 over there was dry, didn't have the backing track. But what the Katana 100 over there had, the Mark 1, that had delay on the lead tone. This one didn't. So yeah, be that for what it may. But you heard both of them going at the same time in the intro jam. So there's a glorious noise. At the end of the video, everybody, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it, after kind of like, you know, having done the comparison thing and kind of gone away, come back and listened, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera up kind of somewhere in the room where I can pick everything up best. And I'm just going to let the room mic pick up the two amps together because it's a heavenly noise when both of these are running together. I tell you, this would be an awesome live setup, I've got to say. Be a very, very cool thing. I mean, I wouldn't be able to get away with it, but it'd be great. Anyway, another thing we're going to do today, when we do the comparison between the two, I'm not going to be using microphones. We're going to use the line outs on the back of the amp. So basically, like, there's no, what's the word? Discrepancies in mic placement on the speaker cone. So we'll just be using the line out on the Mark 1 and the line out on the Mark 2. So it'll just be, you know, DI signal, so direct signal, just to see how they kind of respond. Because in all fairness, the DIs on both these amps sound like the sound you get out of the speaker anyway. It'll just, I just thought if I use the DIs, it'll kind of rule out me getting the mic in the wrong place and causing a discrepancy, you know what I mean? And also having two different mics. Because I would want a mic up using the SM57 and I've only got one of them, so I'd have to move the mic. So I thought I'll just use the DIs and then it just kind of cancels that issue out altogether. You know, there's no discrepancy there because what you're getting is a direct signal into the camera, so there's no hiding. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do very, very simple clean and distortion tones out of each. So we'll start with the Katana 100 over here, Mark 1, and we'll do clean on there. With the Harley Benton kit build, and then what we'll do is we'll do clean on the artist, and then we'll switch to distortion and do distortion on the 100 Mark 1, and then distortion on the artist over here. So so yeah, this will be interesting. This will be I am very, 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 very curious about it. Since the last video where this thing kind of destroyed me, and because this has all the features I want in an amp. The Katana 100 over here has most of them, but not all of them, whereas this has everything. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is all about sound today. It's not about features. It's about the difference in sound. Which one do I prefer, or which one do you prefer? Because, as usual, people of the tube, I want to hear your opinions in the comment section below. Let me know which one you preferred and why. So, without further doodles, I'm going to unplug my pedal board. I need to go and get the foot switch to my Katana 100 over there so I can access its distortion. And yeah, so the next thing you'll hear is clean on the 100 Mark 1, clean on the 100 Mark 2 artist, and then we'll go to distortion on the Mark 1, and then we'll go to distortion on the Mark 2 over here. So, and we're just going to be, I'm not using the stereo split function with this thing where you can basically slave off. I'm using an ABY switch because that video will be for another day when we use the kind of the stereo out thing. Let you know as well, the EQ in this that we're going to be using is the same as the EQ in that. So the clean tone on each amp is set up the same way, and the distortion is set up the exact same way as well. So this will make it very, very interesting. So yeah, is there anything else I need to talk about? I don't think there is. I think that's everything. So without further ado, people of the tube, let's get into this. Let's see what happens. So, like I say, Mark 1, Mark 2, clean. Mark 1, Mark 2, distortion. Jobs are good, and then we'll go and have a listen, and I'll let you know what I hear and whatnot. And I'll say, let me know what you think as well. So, let's do this. Okay, people of the tube, I switched to my white Strat because the initial video I did, I'm not, I don't know, I can hear my white, I know what my white Strat sounds like, so I switched to my white Strat. I'm not as clued into the Harley Benton as I am my white Strat. So anyway, that's the DI. And I can't help but feel the Mark 1 sounded and felt better than the artist on that DI thing, which doesn't make any sense because what you're hearing there is not what I'm hearing in the room. Or maybe it is and I'm not hearing it right. I don't know. I'm frustrated. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a bit annoyed. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to mic the things up instead. So I'm going to leave this DI, I'm going to leave the DI thing in there. But that isn't what the DI sounded like the other day on the artist. So why now? Is it the AB box? I mean, it could be the AB box. You know, it may be. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't know. But what we're going to do now is we're going to eliminate all possibilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug straight into the amps with one lead. We're going to get rid of the AB box altogether. And we're going to mic the things up with SM57. And get to the bottom of this. Because this is really starting to get on my nerves. Because I don't understand. I quickly tried a couple of different settings. I lowered the bass and then boosted the bass on the artist, but in the room they sound the same. I don't get it. I really don't understand what's going on. So, like I say, we're going to eliminate some issues now. So it's going to go straight into the Mark 1 clean, straight into the Mark 2 clean, Mark 1 distortion, Mark 2 distortion, and we're going to have it mic'd with the SM57 instead of the DIs. So let's do that. Let's see what this sounds like. So the next thing you're going to hear is that one clean, and then so on and so forth. I'm really frustrated. I don't understand what's going on. So, yeah, tune this out. Okay, people of YouTube, there we go. That was better. That, to me, was a lot more what I hear. But I doesn't explain. The DI on that sounded great the other day, but it doesn't today. I'm thinking it's the DI box. The ABY switch. So, as a final little test, why not? Let's just get rid of the ABY. Let's just go. Let's do a quick clean thing. DI. So we'll get rid of the mic. We'll just go DI out of Mark 1, and then I'll switch from DI to Mark 2. No cut or anything. We'll just do it in one kind of linear thing. And just see if it was. See if it is the ABY switch that's kind of interfering. Because I'm curious now. Because that one sounded great. And actually, in all fairness, the distortion on the artist, I preferred distortion on the artist. It sounded... The distortion on the Mark 1 sounded a little bit like muffled and like kind of like, you know, blankety. Whereas that one sounded a lot more open and clear. And it was, you know, I just preferred that sound. But clean tone, they sounded identical. Which would make sense because, you know, they're the same amp technically. So this has got more features. And the EQ I've got on this one is the EQ I've got on that one. And in all fairness, I bet I could tweak the distortion in the tone studio to sound like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, but that makes me happier. That got rid of the stress and the strain and all the, oh my God, what's going on thing. So, I'm just curioso now if it was the ABY switch that's interfering. So, because I really need to know. So what we're going to do, like I say, is we're just going to go to clean mode. They're both set up clean, right? Yeah. So we're just going to go back to clean, and we'll just DI into the boss. I will actually stop the camera because I don't want to hear any clinks and pops and stuff like that. It won't be very good for the camera or the amps, to be honest with you. So we'll DI again from the Mark 1, and then we'll DI from the artist. Just a clean tone, though, because that was distinctively different on between the two. So I'm really curious about this. Very curious about this. So, because they, you know, the clean tones now, well, cleanish tones, sound identical. I mean, I mic them up as close as I can. It's where I always mic them off. Like half on the dust cover, half off the dust cover, but more off than on. Excuse me. So I got them as close as I could, and like I said, I always have room to put my hand in front of the microphone without bumping the microphone. So I've got a very specific way of miking up amps that I really like, and that's the way I do it every time. And so there is a variable there. There will be a variable there, obviously, but you know that they sound identical. And also, this speaker is brand new as well. That one isn't. You know, that's been absolutely big. I've beasted that speaker for a good year or so. Well, a year. Whereas this speaker is brand new and they still sound identical. And this one, I'd say the distortion on the artist, I actually preferred it. It sounded more open. Whereas that one sounded a bit more kind of like woolly. But again, I bet I could fix that in the tone studio, no problems. Which is probably what I'll do after this bit. But let's do this again. Let's try the DI again. And to see where this goes, because I'm really, really curious about this now. I'm just wondering if it's the ABY switch affecting the sound, because it's very possible. Very, very possible. So let's do it without that. Let's just go straight out the DI into the camera and straight out the amp into the guitar. No ABY switch. So let's give that a go. Okie dokie, people of the tube. There we go. Yes, what I'm trying to say is I am totally 100% convinced now that, yeah, it's the ABY switch interfering somewhere on lines. Because although there was a little bit of a difference there, it wasn't massive, and the DI still sounded great. The artist DI sounded great. So I'm totally convinced that the ABY switch I'm using is interfering somewhere in that sound, because if you go back and watch that first comparison, the Katana Mark 1 comes across really dark, and the Mark 2 just comes across as like thin and nothing-y. Whereas, with the comparison we just did, they both sound pretty much identical. There was a slight difference there, but nothing kind of like, oh my god, that's absolutely kind of crazy. It's not like that first example, where it just stuck out like a sore thumb. And again, hearing it with the mic as well just kind of gave me, like made me feel like I wasn't going insane. Because I was like, when I first heard that one back, that first thingy back, I was like, that is not what I'm hearing in the room. Well, what I'm hearing in the room is the clean tone sounding identical, and the distortion sound a little bit clearer on the artist, and it's exactly what the microphone confirmed, if you will, to me. So, and I say that what that's just done, that is confirmed that I'm totally convinced that ABY switch is messing around with the tone. So I will not be using that again because I do not like what it does. I don't know if I was to switch over A and B, it would work better. Would it make the Katana 100 Mark 1 sound weedy? If I put it into, I can't remember which one was in A and which was in B now though. But it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to use an A-B switch again because it seemed to have messed with things really badly. I just don't get what was going on there at all. So, this video, funnily enough, I thought this video would be nice. This would be a really, really short video, but obviously not. I don't get it. But I had to get to the bottom of that one, and I hope. It was very interesting. That was very, very interesting because, like I say, I was convinced what I was hearing was not what was coming through those line outs. And I say the microphone just confirmed it, and then doing that DI test just then confirmed it even more. There was a slight difference, yeah, definitely. There's a mini difference in the tone. Other than that, though, not a lot. And I used the same leads on both amps as well. I got the same levels as well on the camera. So, and I didn't really hear a great deal of difference. So, be that for what it may. There's definitely something wrong with ABY switch. It's mucking the tone about. So yeah, there we go, people of the tube. That's an interesting one for today. I didn't expect the video to go in this direction at all. But, so, people of the tube, having heard the second examples with the microphone, go off the microphone examples. Don't go off the initial first one. I was thinking of getting rid of that altogether, but no, it's a part of the video now. So, let me know, people of the tube, going off the mic examples, which one do you prefer and why? To me, there's not a great deal in it at all. You know what I mean? The Mark 1 just sounds wicked as it always has, and the artist sounds wicked as it always has as well. And I'm totally convinced there was something wrong with my Mark 2, because no matter what I did with my Mark 2, the one I had at the beginning of this year, no matter what I did with that, it never sounded as good as that artist did. It never, ever behaved that way. And also, in the Andertons video I did, I was playing for a Mark 2 Katana then, and that sounded wicked as well. So it sounded and it felt nothing like that one I had at the beginning of the year. That one I had at the beginning of the year, I am convinced was dodgy. There was something not right with it. I don't know whether it was the speaker or the way it was programmed or what it was. Because the factory reset did something. It made it better, but it never made it great. You know what I mean? Not like the ones I've tried. And I say, having played for another Mark II at Andertons, I was like, that sounds great. Why didn't mine sound like this? And then that artist. So yeah, interesting now. I won't be using that ABY switch ever again. I can tell you that for sure. It really mucked up the tone. Well, the DI would definitely. Maybe that's because I thought the intro sounded a bit weird as well. The intro had a bit of a kind of I don't want to say thinness, because it wasn't thinness, but a honkiness to it. There was like, I initially thought maybe they were a bit out of phase with each other, but now I know that it's not that. It's the actual, it's the mic. It's the ABY switch. I'm happy I did the mic thing though, because I was a bit worried. I thought I was losing my mind, but I'm glad I did the mic test and go, no, they do sound pretty much identical. Like I said, the artist's distortion sounded wicked. It really did. It sounded really open and clear, and it really cut, but had the depth to it. It was really nice, and it sang as well when you went to the neck pickup. The distortion on the Mark I Katana, it sounded a bit woolly and a bit dark, so I'm gonna have to go into the tone studio and do something about that because it didn't quite sound right. There was something not quite right about it, but interesting, very interesting. So yeah, and the ABY switch isn't an expensive one. It's not, it's only a cheapo ABY, but yeah, it definitely mucked up the sound royally. So anyway, be that for it, mate. I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. I hope it was kind of interesting and informative because, and also let me know which one you prefer the sound of and why. What was it about kind of like, the Mark 1 or the Mark 2, the artist you like more, so to say. So, because to me, I love them both, but the artist has more of the features I want. The artist has all the features I could ever want in an amp, whereas the Mark 1 doesn't have them. So yeah, and it's just not as versatile as the artist. The Mark 1 is just not as versatile. So I'm still mulling over the question of, is the artist my perfect amp? I don't know. But anyway, either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. I'll see you again very soon for another one. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting that was. So yeah, that ABY switch, I'm going to put that away and never use that again. So I wonder if it could be the battery in it. I'm not trying. I'm just going to put it away and not bother with it anymore. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. I'll see you again. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. See you again soon for another one. Yeah, have a great one. Goodbye now. Thank you very much for watching.